Welcome to Straight Outta Jersey. Today's podcast is brought to you by Ace Sunglasses. Go to acesunglasses.com.au to purchase some of the best shades around. Use promo code MRG30 and receive 30% off selected brands.
Straight Outta Jersey with Jersey Jay-Z. With the freak of New York, Gregg Valentino. And your host, Jersey Jay-Z.
What's up, guys? We are live. It is Thursday. I am Joe Zapata, and I'm with my brother from another mother, the one who had the largest arms in the world at one time, Mr. Gregg Valentino. How you doing, Greg?
All right, Joe. You know the story.
Yeah,
Drop the reps, increase the dosage. You know what I mean?
Train heavy or go home, right?
I wore the special 1970 sweater today because we got a great guest coming on, and I figured I want to wear my Sunday best, you know?
Yes. We got a great guest coming on. Played 15 years in the major leagues. Played for our team, the Yankees. We're Yankee fans. Loved him in the pinstripes. Has a great slider, great career. And then he went into bodybuilding. And I remember when I saw him, I couldn't believe it was the same person. He was jacked. I was like, this is Kyle Farnsworth? I can't believe how big he got. So he's going to come on right now. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Kyle Farnsworth.
Hey guys, how you doing? Thanks for having me on.
Hey,
here he is.
On. You know, thanks for taking some time and come on with me and Greg.
You can see he looks good. You look good, Kyle. I mean, not for nothing. You look, you know, baseball players are not usually built like you. You got some, you know, biceps on you and everything. I love it.
Appreciate it.
How do you train, Kyle?
I'm sorry.
How do you train these days? What's your training routine?
It's pretty much kind of stayed the same for a long time. You know, kind of do, you know, Monday I do chest tries, Tuesday back buys, legs Monday or Wednesday, do shoulders, and then try to do some arms on Friday and just active rest Saturday and just chill on Sunday. You know, I've mixed it up a little bit here and there, but for the most part, that's basically, you know, kind of like my routine that I've been sticking with for a little bit.
And you competed in a show, right? Didn't you compete in was it Masters or Classic Physique? Which class was that?
Yeah, you know, in Classic Physique, and I've done 3 shows now.
Right.
My first one was a Shrew Classic here in Orlando. Where
I have a picture right here.
Yeah, look at Kyle. Dude, that's a picture in the major leagues that looks like that. And he's friggin' tall, too. Kyle, how tall are you?
6'4".
Shit. That's if Lee Priest sat on my shoulders, we would be the same height.
Yeah, he looked good, right? Wow, really good.
Holy shit. No.
What does your diet consist of?
I know it's something I just enjoy doing, you know, and this, you know, if I'm in the gym now and I don't have anything else to do, so I figure I might as well give it a shot and see what happens.
Well, you know what I want to ask? Now, Kyle, you grew up, obviously, you're probably a baseball fan or all sports, I'm sure, most pro athletes. But by the way, which baseball team did you grow up rooting for?
The Braves, because I grew up in Atlanta. So
okay, I thought that. But now, let me ask you a question. Were you always, when you were a little boy, like when you were a kid, did you ever like look at muscle magazines, or did you ever see Schwarzenegger on TV or the Hulk or something and say, you know, I wouldn't mind being jacked too?
Oh, for sure. I don't know if you guys remember those little figurines, Muscle Men?
Yes, I remember them. The little pink ones, right?
That, you know, it's funny that you brought that up because, you know, just seeing, you know, the G.I. Joes and the figurines that, you know, they get all the muscles and obviously the sculptures, you know, the Greeks and stuff like that. And you're like, wow, the human body can get like that. And just through a nutrition, lifting and stuff like that, you know, it's cool to be able to transform your body and see that transformation take over time. But yeah, no, I did that as a kid. You know, I looked at the magazines, the Hulk, and I think watching Conan the Barbarian with Arnold and, you know, Lou Ferrigno with the, you know, Incredible Hulk and stuff like that. No, I think we all kind of know that era, and that's kind of how I kind of got started.
That's awesome. Did you ever like your family, like now that's like people that see you, like other baseball players, they see you now and they're like, holy shit, like what are you doing? Because, you know, you look young. Kyle, you don't look like a guy who pitched, you know, back, 20 years ago and shit. You know what I mean? Like, you look young.
Well, thank you. Like I said, I try to take care of myself the best I can, eat right and do the right things. And yeah, I mean, every now and then I'll come across some old teammates and, you know, no offense to them, but they're kind of, you know, fluffy and round. This way, going out this way.
That's what I'm saying. I was, because when they see you now, I mean, Jesus Christ, you look like you haven't, like, you look almost younger than you did when you were playing baseball. You know,
Yeah.
maybe all the dieting keeps you healthy and shit, and your face looks like very like fit and you know. And I'm saying, I was wondering if like people that hadn't seen you like that know you from baseball and they see you, they're like, Kyle, like, what do you? Because not every baseball player or athlete, when they retire, most guys feel like, well, you know, I worked out for, you know, I did all this, you know, sports training. I might as well take it easy now, so they get fat. So, you know, I just figured when they see you, they must be like, wow, you know.
Yeah, and, you know, sometimes they ask me for, you know, diet tips, workout tips. You know, I help them as best I can. You know, I'm no professional or anything like that, but, you know, I know what's worked for me and stuff like that, and, you know, just try to help out. But, you know, every now and then, yeah, guys will say stuff like that. And, you know, I appreciate that. You know, it's just a lifestyle that I've chose to do ever, you know, for a long, you know, decades. And it's my wife and I, you know, we work out together and we enjoy it.
Oh, that's good. So you get the wife involved. So that's even better, because then, you know, she cooks the good food and stuff. You don't have to worry about, like, you know, she's eating spaghetti and meatballs and shit, and you're over there eating, like, you know, I don't know, skinless chicken or something, you know. So that's a good thing when you do it as a team, you know.
Yeah, sure. No, she's hardcore. She fasts every day, at least 18 hours every day. So, and
Wow, you're kidding.
yeah,
Does she want to compete too? Is she into that?
she's not into that. She says she judges herself enough. She doesn't want anybody else judging her.
No, but you know what? She's right, because bodybuilding, Kyle, I always say this, bodybuilding is a lifestyle, right? And you can't really, it's not really a sport. You know what I mean? You don't win on merit. You win on somebody's opinion. And we go to shows all the time, and I can tell you every show has a guy who somebody says he should have won, he shouldn't have won, or whatever. But, you know, it's like comparing a Michelangelo, you know, with the Pablo Picasso. Who's to say which art is better? You know, so your physiques are something that are judged just on what you know, a judge's opinion. So, but it's a lifestyle.
Mm-hmm. Now, Kyle, did you also play almost professional football, correct? Like semi-pro?
Kind of. So my last year in the States was 2014. So I got released by the Astros, and, you know, I've always loved football. And, you know, back in high school, I think my last time I played football was in my freshman year in high school. My dad said, all right, we're going to concentrate on baseball. It's guaranteed money and less injuries. So I'm like, all right, whatever. You know better. So,
Well, right.
Exactly. So after 2014, I was like, all right, I'm going to come back to Orlando. I looked up for semi-pro football teams, tried out for the Orlando Phantoms as the defensive end, made the team the first year, played 5 years, made 2 all-star teams, 3 championships, 2 bowl championships, and also 3 major surgeries, both shoulders and the left knee, in 5 years of playing football. So, no,
holy shit.
It was a lot of fun. It's, you know, for me, it's that competitive thing. And then also, I just don't want to look at myself when I'm old and be like, oh, I wish I would have done that. Wish I would have done this. You know, if I had the ability to do it, and that's what I wanted to do, and I wouldn't change it for the world. Even with the surgeries, it was just a lot of fun meeting a lot of good guys, you know, great people, and just enjoy doing it.
Yeah. I think competitiveness is obviously, sports is in your blood. So it's like, you know, for a guy to play pro baseball and try for pro football teams and stuff, that's pretty. And now you're competing in a sport that, you know, it's definitely hard. I mean, look, you can go, you know, have a friggin' Big Nike's meatball wedge when you're, you know, at the night of a baseball game, and the next day still pitch. It's not going to affect you as much as like bodybuilding. Every little precise, you know, you know, your food and everything, you know, one jelly bean could throw you off. You know what I'm saying? If you're competing, you know, back in, you know, my day, anyway.
Yeah.
You know?
No, for sure. That's one thing. You know, when I started doing it, you know, seriously, about 3 years ago, getting ready for my first show, you know, I didn't realize how crazy it was and how precise everything had to be. Like you were just saying, Greg, you know, baseball wise, you don't have to be perfect after the game. You know, you can eat this, you can do that.
Right.
You know, yes, on the field you do, but bodybuilding, you have to be perfect every meal, every workout, your rest, your training, every day, every minute, every hour, constantly for months on end. And I didn't realize how hard it was. It just gave me a whole new respect and, you know, appreciation for the bodybuilding community and whatever people have to do to put themselves through to get stage ready.
You know what used to kill me, Kyle, when I was competing in the 70s and into the 80s was the dehydration and not drinking, restricting fluids. I mean, I was like, I just want to drink something. You know what I mean? When you're sitting there the last, couple days and then that day and everything, and you got to, you're really not drinking much. You know what I mean? It's like, because you're trying to dry out. That was the part that always killed me. It's the restriction of fluid. So people don't realize how, what you have to go through with this stuff here,
Yeah, and the mental part of it too, what it does, it's crazy.
Oh yeah, it's you got to train whether you feel like training or not. The best time to train is when you don't want to train, because you're shot from dieting, and then you got to go to the gym and try to, there's not much food in you. You just got to try to burn the calories, and then your strength's starting to go down a little bit because you don't have the food intake, and it's a tough thing, But I give you credit, man, because you just don't quit. You're like the Energizer Bunny. I mean, how old are you now?
Almost 49. I'll be 49 in April.
See, Joe, that's it. Look at that guy.
Look at his biceps. I mean, it's huge.
No, but it's not. I mean, yeah, he looks. Dude, you're looking at 30 at the most. You know what I mean? You look young. I mean, how many guys his age, have like his physique like that, like his bicep? I mean, I'm saying those baseball players, any sport, most sports guys, when they retire, they think, I did my time. Now I'm just going to hit the golf course, which I've seen, Kyle, by the way, on the, I seen your Twitter of you hitting golf balls. One time I said shit to you on there, but most guys just want to retire, get fat. And look at him. He went from like, this kind of training is no shit. You know what I mean? So, and you look fucking young, man. I'm telling you, it's amazing. You have young kids, I saw, right?
My son is 22. I have.
I thought they were young.
Two step kids from my previous marriage, and I still keep in contact with them, and two now with my previous wife. So the youngest she's 18, and the oldest is, I think, 30. So, but I only have one biologically, and he's 22.
Holy shit! Is he into working out too, or is more into just playing sports, or what's he like?
He stopped playing baseball after high school, but he works out, but he does a lot of rock climbing and stuff at the moment. So he's over, and he destroys me on it. I mean, it's amazing he's this tall. I think he's about 6'5", about an inch taller than me, and he just destroys it. It's just fun watching him how to do that crazy stuff.
Wow, holy shit! I don't know why I was thinking he had young kids like that, but dude, like even rock climbing, that's, when I was young, I could do all that. I always tell Joe, I used to climb up in the building at our high school and get all the balls that were on the roof and everything like that. Now I can't, I was a fairly good baseball player in high school. I couldn't throw from pitcher's mound. I throw 5 feet and it falls now, because I lost every bit of athleticism, because, Kyle, I went a little crazy with this Babanya there. I was banging 6,000 milligrams of test a week. And I'm not going to lie, Kyle, I loved every minute of it. But,
Kyle, I wanted to ask you, would you rather win a World Series or win a Mr. Olympia?
Oof. You got to put me on
tough, right?
That's a good question.
That is a very good question. I'd probably say World Series.
Okay.
World Series to me is great. But do you want to think about the Mr. Olympia? And again, you know how I feel. Bodybuilding it's a matter of opinion. A lot of guys win, and we say there's no way he should have won. But it's an individual thing. You could have a guy, I'm a little pissed at Aaron Judge, dropping the balls, batting 0.69 and shit. But you could have a guy on your team that's fucking dragging the rest of you down, and you lose because he's not performing right. But on the Olympia stage, you can't blame anybody else
but yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's you, Kyle, that's the one thing about bodybuilding. It's you competing against you. And if you go into another show, if you decide I want to go into another show, and if you ever need help, ask me, because I don't train people. I used to years ago, but I'm not looking. I'm no money in that shit. I'm just saying I would help you just out of friendship. But let me tell you, if you ever decide to go for a show again, it's just all you have to do is beat Kyle that competed the last time, and that's the best. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I
think that's what I kind of started. I know I've only done 3 shows, but that's what I've figured out each show. Okay, it's not me. It's getting better each time and getting improvements the judges are asking to see and stuff like that, and just getting better and not worrying about the person standing next to me. Just go out and enjoy the moment.
What you've already accomplished is amazing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was going to ask you, Kyle, the way you worked out for the Yankees, let's say for the Yankees, when you worked out, how's that different? Like, they don't want you to have 20-inch arms, obviously. Did you have to train differently for the baseball compared to bodybuilding?
A little bit, yes. My lower body, I kept it kind of much the same. I've always been strong lower body, and I love training lower half. And I did lift upper body, but I didn't lift as heavy as I do now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's with as much because I still wanted to stay flexible and limber. And I obviously didn't want to injure my shoulder because that's where I made my money, or elbow weights. So I just kept it so during the season, and then I lifted pretty heavy, but nothing crazy like I do now during the off season. But like I said, the main thing I was just make sure I stayed really flexible and just try to keep my arm, elbow, and shoulder as healthy as possible.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, because lifting weights could kind of kill you. Like, when it comes to athleticism, so you have to be really careful. It's like if you were still playing baseball, it'd be really, bodybuilding and baseball don't really mix. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But really big on.
Look at that.
Look at
that. You guys watching this. This is a guy who's 49 years old, going to be 50 years old, basically.
Look at that.
Look at him. He was a pro athlete, but he's a baseball player. That's a baseball player pitch. And that's 6'5", 6'6".
6'4".
6'4".
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's me sitting on Joe's shoulders, or Elite Priest sitting on my shoulders and Joe's shoulders. But dude, you guys don't understand it. When you see a guy like that in person, he's even bigger because he's 6'4". Us shorter guys, I mean, we fill out, we put on 10 pounds. It looks like we're freaking, but that's great, man.
How much do you weigh, Kyle? How much do you weigh?
About 261 right now. I think that was the day. That picture right there was just from my last show. The evening after, I think I was at 241 in that picture right there, or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow.
Yeah, but you look great. See, that's what I'm talking about, guys that are watching this. You don't realize, I mean, when I was, what the hell did I weigh? I weighed 278 once, but I was like I look like a butterball. You know what I mean? I was like, I was jacked, but I couldn't even tie my shoes. I felt like I would fall over like this if I tied my shoes. I'd be in a movie theater watching a movie, and my girlfriend would be looking at me like this, and I'm like, what? And she's like, you're fucking breathing like, So, but I mean, like, because I'm not.
Oh goodness.
I'm 5'6", bro. I'm not supposed to weigh a lot of, but that's great weight. You're lean in that, and your structure. You got some broad shoulders on you too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No one wanted to mess with you when you were on the Yankees. You were the tough man on the Yankees. You come out of that bullpen.
Yeah, I saw him run out of a. I saw that one time. A few times we get a little pissed off. I like that. He had balls. I like that. I said that
perfect for New York
a couple weeks ago. You know what I mean? Yeah, I like that. We New Yorkers, we love that shit.
Right, you back down. You can't show any kind of weakness at all, and you have to also be there to protect your teammates too. So I had no issue doing either of those.
Mm-hmm.
You ever get nervous about these guys like hitting friggin' 112 miles an hour back at you? You know what I mean, at your head and stuff, or no?
Oh yeah, I've had a few go by me that I heard it go by, and then I put my glove up. I was like, oh my goodness, if I would have been dead. I've been hit. I think the hardest I've ever been hit, it was when I was with the Yankees. We're facing Boston, and it was Willie Mopena, a big old right-handed power hitter.
Oh, I remember Willie Mopena. Yep.
I threw it at about 98, and I think it came about 120. It hit me right in my calf. And thank goodness it didn't hit my tibia. It just missed my bone, hit me right in the muscle, right on the left side of my right leg. And the ball fell. I grabbed it, threw it, and I took one step and just fell because my muscle was cramped up. I mean, it killed me. I was like, that was the hardest I've ever been hit. But yeah, it's scary how fast they can hit the ball back.
Yeah. Oh my God. And that's what I'm saying. Because those balls today, these guys are hitting Giancarlo's hitting like 120 something miles an hour. You're like, holy God, how does a pitcher even, like, as soon as it leaves your hand, it's like this right by your head. You feel like Donald Trump with that bullet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they call it chuck and duck. Just throw it and duck.
Holy shit, that's great. Now, I don't mean to ask a personal question, but is your dad still with us, or?
Unfortunately, no.
Okay, I'm sorry.
He passed away last January.
Oh, I'm sorry. I've been an orphan for a long time. My parents.
we got right here. My dad was a Vietnam fighter pilot. So.
Yes.
Oh shit.
Yes, that was really enough.
God bless him. God bless him. I just asked. The reason why I was asking that is because if he saw? Well, he probably saw you jacked and everything, right?
Yeah.
I was wondering how dads, because dads are the ones that taught us when we were little boys how to play baseball and everything else. I wonder if he did he like that? Like, wow, Kyle, you're looking good.
He did sometimes. He was always active, and even up to pretty much when he passed away. I mean, he was always going to the gym, doing the best he can to, still stay in shape and stuff like that. And he just said, you look good. I'm glad you're having fun. So, this is, I think as a parent, you just want to see your kids succeed and have fun and, just enjoy life.
Right. I was just curious because I know a lot of dad, now you're getting jacked and stuff. So, it's the opposite of what you were doing before. I was just curious how dads would feel about that,
Yeah. I was going to say, when you played for the Yankees, was that the best organization as far as the way they had it that you played for, as far as the way they operated?
The Braves were good at how they did things as well, because that's why they were so successful.
Yep.
I think if you find all the, nothing against other teams, but a lot of very sustainable winning teams, the Cubs did good things. Unfortunately, they're up and down and stuff like that. Then there's some other organizations that, okay, now you see why they're always seem like to be always at the bottom. They don't want to spend money. They don't want to, sign, their main players to contracts. They want to get rid of these guys as opposed to these guys. But, and I think that's why some players don't like the game, because the business part of how they treat players and stuff like that, and organizations going out and getting guys to, compete for playoffs and World Series, which every player, that's their goal, is to get to. And when you don't see organizations putting that effort into it, it kind of makes a bad taste in your mouth. You don't want to go to those type of organizations because our time's always limited for so long to be able to have a chance to do that.
You know what? I wanted to ask you. This is a little bit of a crazy question, but you know how I am. I'm a little nutty.
Yeah.
Because Joe and I talked about this. But did you ever? I always wondered, like, if a guy's out in the field and all of a sudden a shit bubble hits him, and you're like, "Holy Christ!" You know what I mean? And it's like there's like no outs. Like, did you ever have to take like a bad shit or bad piss or feel like I'm gonna puke? I think and I got to get to like, what am I gonna do? I got to get through this inning. Did you ever like have to shit really bad and like hold it in or
I never did. I've seen people throw up on the field. I don't think I've ever seen anybody shit their pants or piss themselves. I have seen a umpire leave during the middle of a game because he got I think it was food poisoning, and he had to go to the bathroom, and I forget when it was, but excuse me. But yeah, so he had to leave the whole game finally, and they had to switch. We had to take like a 15-minute break for the other umpire to change to the home plate umpire. But no, it's definitely happened before, and I'm just glad I haven't.
I was just curious. I know that's a really stupid question. I'm sorry, but I just figure, because shit bubbles hit me at the most inopportune times. You know what I mean? And I have a countdown, and if I don't go, it's fucking tsunami in the underwear. You know what I mean? So it's I just was curious.
Kyle, do you currently train kids right now? That's what you're doing, right? Pitching and stuff.
Yeah. Yep. So I work at a facility here in the Orlando, Claremont area called Double Play Batting Cages, and been probably about 4 or 5 months, and I go there and give lessons, help out as much as I can, just love giving back, and just because I'm not because the type of training that's out there now, I mean, there's a lot of dads, like I said, I'm not bashing because they're doing the best they can, but not giving good advice and training. And I get it, they're doing the best they can. So I'm going out there just, I enjoy doing it first. I have time to do it. And I could just sit at home and do nothing, but that's not me. I want to give back and help out. And it's fun seeing kids. I like working with the younger kids more than older kids, just because they're like a new piece of clay and you can mold to their and break bad habits, which they have incurred and stuff like that. So, but I work, I think the youngest kid I've worked with is 6, and the oldest gentleman I have now, I think he's 57. He plays in still an adult baseball league. And so I train everybody, that wants some help.
Wow.
Do any of the kids, like, when you're trying to talk to them about pitches, say, Mr. Farnsworth, how do you buy? You look so built, like, you know, the kids, because you're so built, they don't expect a picture to get up there. You know what I mean?
I have had actually kids ask me that. You're a pitcher? It's like, how?
I knew there had to be one or two kids that said, like, oh my God, they're more like you're trying to talk to them about pitching, and they're kind of like your biceps or like kind of like big, or oh my God, your shoulder. You know what I mean? Like you're saying, oh, look, grab the ball. You know what I mean? Do you get kids like, because you know kids are kids, and when young boys see other jack guys, that's like, you know, you superheroes you think of in your head. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, that helps them to be, you know, better at any sport, or just be more confident in anything to help them out. And, you know, I'm all for it. So if it helps them, good.
Do you ever get fathers like, no, I don't think he should be really throwing it like that or anything like that? You know, because there's people who think they know better than you. You know what I'm saying? Like you played in the major leagues. You know, I played, hey, I don't know if you know this, but I was on the fucking softball team when I was in college. Yeah. Oh, shit. Well, shit, I don't want to, you know, challenge your knowledge. You know?
There has been a few, but I've done my best to bite my tongue. Someone say, oh, since you know so much, then why'd you bring him to me?
That's what you have to do. Yeah, because you don't want to. I don't want to put a father down in front of, you know, in front of his kid, because then you feel like that's, you know, that's the son, you know, that's his idol and stuff. But inside, I you know, you want to kick him in the ass. But
you could probably still throw.
Sit down and watch us. Be quiet.
Yeah, right. Go sit. You know. Oh my God.
You could probably still throw, Kyle, can't you? Probably. I mean, Yankees need a little help in the bullpen. You probably could still throw that ball.
I could throw probably below hitting speed, so I'll probably get people out.
If God said to you, like, I'll give you $100 million, but you got to try to make the do you think you could do it again? I mean, you're in such good shape. These fucking pro baseball players right now are not as good a shape as you. I mean, we're talking about your body fat, your conditioning. Forget the size of your muscles, but you are in condition. You know, do you think that you could still do it? Maybe say, fuck it. You know what? I'm going to be an outfielder or something, or a first baseman or whatever, or pitcher. What would you do?
I probably could, but I know velocity-wise, since I had my shoulder feels great, but after having a surgery, it's hard for pitchers to come back to even come close to the velocity they were. But it feels great. So I mean, I can get people out for sure. But like, I think the last time I threw was probably about 4 years ago. It was against my son and a couple of his friends from on his high school team. It's his senior year, so it was about 4 years ago, and it was probably about 2 years after my surgery. And I think I was throwing 87, but you know, it was. I was like, I was throwing as hard as I could. I was like, that's all I got. I was like, how hard is that? They're like 87. I was like, what?
Holy shit!
But my slider was still good, but the main thing, it was pain free. But so I mean, if someone needs a thumber, I might be able to learn how to throw a knuckleball, so we could figure something out.
There you go. There you go. The knuckleball. Forget about it. But we all saw what happened with Tim Wakefield when that knuckleball didn't knuckle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What's your favorite body part to work out on? What's your favorite body part?
I mean, besides legs, I like back and shoulders. I mean, I love chest too. My chest is my weakest spot. I don't know why it just doesn't want one to grow. I mean, I love working it, but besides legs, probably shoulders or back.
Okay, shoulders and back. And your chest, Greg, you can get his chest to grow.
I can get his chest to grow, absolutely. One thing is, you can't always worry about going too heavy. You know what I mean? You got to listen to your body. When you listen to everybody else, these experts that tell you, if Ronnie Coleman was there and he's telling you how to do chest, that's what affects Ronnie Coleman. Doesn't mean it's going to affect you. You know what I'm saying? I've been in the gym with all these guys. I was in the gym with Schwarzenegger, and each guy trains different. They know what's right for them. You know, it's almost like to use a pitching analogy, not everybody gets off the mound the same way. Not everybody each guy has a different arm slot, you can't try somebody else's arm slot and make it right for you if it doesn't feel right, you know? So the first thing that we'd have to do is figure out where it's not working, like what's going wrong with that, like where you're not hearing your own little Kyle's in there saying, listen, you know, I know I'm supposed to bench, but that's not really hitting me right. You know, that doesn't mean there's no law that you have to bench. My legs are super jacked. Joe will tell you, you know, I did my legs with, you know, I'd show my legs against Lee and shit. And even Dave Palumbo was like, holy shit. And I only do one set. I'm fucking 64 years old and I'm not on the Babania. The thing is though, is I know my body. And, you know, I don't listen to other people. I don't have to do squats to get big legs. I get straighted ass. You have to learn what's right for Kyle. And then we'd have to figure out what you're doing. You may be doing exercises that, because this is what you do. You want mass, you have to bench. It's like the Bible, but that's not true. You know, there's a lot of guys who did shit. Serge Nubret had the beautiful chest from top to bottom. Didn't even do inclines. He just did bench. You know what I mean? And some flies. That's it. But he had huge upper pecs. Huh. It's a genetic structure, but you have to find what's right for you, is what I'm saying. Do you understand that or no?
I think that's what I'm trying to figure out too. It's like, for me, it feels like if I lift heavy, I get strong.
Right.
Like the muscles don't grow as good when I do more volume.
There you go. You're in my ballpark now, the king of volume right here. You see, the thing is, as we get older, the whole Marine Corps, you overcome and adapt. You have to learn it. It's not the heavyweight. It's the heavyweight in that basic movement shit. All that stuff is great for young guys that are just starting out to, try to put on mass. But as we get older, we have to isolate a little bit more. You know what I mean? Like Lee Haney used to say, stimulate, don't annihilate, but you want to stimulate that muscle growth, but you don't have to lift heavy, but you have to make that muscle do the work, and you got to go deep into the fibers. That doesn't mean lift light. It means make that muscle do the work. I can help you with any of that shit you want. You know what I mean?
You have a trainer, Kyle, that you work with?
Yeah, I was just going to ask him that.
Yeah, Ferlin Bailey and Jen Sweeney, they're both down here in Orlando.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, see, I don't like to go against other guys, but sometimes guys think that they have the answers, or they tell you, no, try this exercise, do it like this, no, Kyle, your voice is going to fix all that. You're going to say, you know what, I just don't like that. I don't care. I keep doing this one exercise, and I know it's supposed to build, but I just don't feel it there, I want a bench show, Kyle, and but I got giant front delts and big triceps from it. I didn't really feel it in the chest. I have to do different movements, you know what I mean, in order for me to isolate the chest and really get my chest bigger. Bench wasn't it for me, even though I could bench heavy.
Yeah, makes sense.
There's Kyle, you have long arms, and that right there changes, the whole movement of everything else. You know what I'm saying? Guys with long arms aren't known to have, short arms. Even though I'm short, I don't have that short, stubby build. You know what I'm talking about, Joe?
Yep.
So short arms usually, and broad shoulders, I have broad shoulders. So when you pinch the shoulder like this, you pinch it more like this, you get higher traps and thicker pecs. When you pull the shoulders out, like we have broad shoulders, it's harder to get the thickness in the chest, or the traps aren't as high as some guy that's like, narrow. I mean, when I pose them, they're high, but when I stand, my shoulders are broad. You got to train according to your structure, and you'll hear that voice in your head. This is just this is not working, bro. I'm not feeling this where I'm supposed to feel it. I'm not getting the pump. That means you got to move on to something different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally makes sense. Just like how you were trying to explain it with pitching wise, not everybody's arm angle is the same, so you have to find out. But the release point, as long as you get out to the release point, the finished product, everybody's different.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Kyle, you know what's even, to use a baseball analogy, even better? I see guys with these awkward fucking batting stances and shit. Some guys move their hands. Some guys got the bat flat back like that. And you say, how the hell is he going to hit a fastball coming down there? And all of a sudden, bop, you know what I mean? It just, they look so awkward up at bat. It's not funny. But yet, each batting stance is different to that person. Am I right or wrong?
Oh, you're totally correct. Same thing with pitching motion. Some they're all kind of the close, but everybody's different. And you have to find out what works for you.
Thank you. And that's Kyle, if you use that mentality into bodybuilding, and even with food, the same thing. Like Jay Cutler, he said, I can't, I know Jay used to work when I'm at Muscular Development. He used to say, I can't eat oatmeal, bro. I can't eat oatmeal. It just bloats my lower intestines. I'll shit my brains out. So he likes to go more for cream of rice. It's for carbs he's talking about. He wasn't a big eater, so he has to force feed himself. Now, I've been to dinner with Ronnie Coleman 10,000 times. I've seen him eat rice, and I've seen him eat pasta in the same, like meal. You know what I'm saying? Like it's good, so each guy's different. Lee Haney did not like to eat. He used to say to me, baked potatoes bloat my lower intestines, So he didn't like baked potatoes or sweet potato. Joe, you like that? You like that? But he used to say that. So he liked rice. He would eat. His source of carbs was, I got to eat rice. Dave Palumbo, who I work with, it's rice. but not everybody. Some guys like to yip. It's this instinctive eating. It's the same thing as instinctive training. You have to go. You can't go by just because Joe Materazzi, your trainer, tells you eat this or take that. Same thing with juice, the babanya. I used to blast whole bottle. Kyle, I was a madman. You know what I mean? I used to blast a whole bottle of test. I do, 10 cc's, 200 milligrams. That's 2,000 milligrams. Then on Wednesday, I would do it again. And, I was a drug dealer, so I had it like that. So then on Friday, I would do it again. I would be, I would take some, but I knew that Deca would kill the Picho Liga. Didn't want to work. You know what I mean? So I would do equipoise. Now, I have other friends who would take Deca and be like, dude, I hate equipoise. That shit doesn't do shit for me. Everybody's body's different on all fronts of all of that. So you have to find what's right for you, especially with the training, Sorry to go off.
So Kyle, after you talk to your wife, when's your next show do you think you're going to compete in?
It may be during the summer or early fall.
Summer?
Just trying to work on, like I said, upper chest and a little bit bigger arms. That's for my last show. That was kind of the critique, and they were saying my waist was too wide, but not much I can do about my waist. So I'm just working on everything else.
But you put in first though in 3 categories or something.
Wait, your waist? Who said your waist is too wide?
So I forget who was so it was actually, I think at my last show, I forget who was the judge. I think Sandy was the judge, the Olympia judge.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Was it Sandy Rinaldi? She changed her name. She got married. Is it an older woman? Blonde
head lady, older.
Yeah. She's the one that was in my car with Mike Matarazzo. She had that fight. What was I going to say? Kyle, one of the ways you could actually remember something, Kyle, doing a lot of ab work and a lot of side bends. I see these guys in the gym. My friend used to do it, doing with fucking heavy dumbbells and shit. And he built obliques that were like this. And he kept telling me, I can't get my waist any smaller. I told him, well, stop doing that, especially if he was doing a babanya. You know what I mean? And I'm like, dude, your bicep is no different from your oblique. It's made of the same thing. So if you're going to train really hard and use resistance with that, you're going to widen your waist. Rich Gaspari stopped training his waist for 10 months and shrank his waist like 2 inches because when he was, going for the Olympia all those years, losing Haney, you know what I mean? He was doing a lot of all out abdomen and shit. But too much of that will actually cause your waist to get thicker and bigger. You know what I mean? Now, I don't see that on you, but I don't see you in person, Yeah.
But yeah, saying that, it's a muscle. So if you train it with weights and everything like that, it's going to grow. So I've kind of shied away from doing anything with weights and just doing more just like, side to side twist and just basic stuff without weights. So, but it's part of the process of hearing what the judges' thoughts are. And like you're saying, everybody's different.
Everybody's different.
What do you do for squats, by the way? Because do you do squats, heavy squats?
Not anymore. I keep them light. I think the most I'd go up to would be like 405. But for the most part, just stay around 225 and just keep them around 15 to 20.
Yeah, you got to keep them reps up there. That's what it is. Tom Platz, I know Tom very well. Tom Platz used to squat, take 315, and he'd do it 50 times like a piston, up and down, up and down. And if you saw, I even posted it on my thing, on my Instagram. I'm not the biggest social media guy, Kyle. I just had a flip phone up until recently. Joe will tell you. But Tom Platz used to say the first 20 reps, you're like, holy shit, but the next 10, 15 reps, you're like, I don't know how I'm going to get this done. I don't know. And by he hit 35, he said, to get to 50, he said, I didn't even know where I was after a while. I was like just going into motion. You know what I mean? Gee. And that's the way it's got to be with legs. You got to do the reps, but you don't take a light weight. You actually have to take a moderate weight to moderately heavy weight and do it for a lot of reps. You walk on your legs, they're made of mostly red fiber, not white fiber. If we had all white fiber legs, which is a faster twitch, explosive movement, we would only be able to walk like 10 feet and then we'd have to sit down and rest. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like I think with the same thing with calves with people. They don't know how to train calves. Like you were saying, we're on our feet all day long. We're walking on. They know training, so you have to just kill them to make them.
But most people feel like they got to do heavy weights with the calves, and they don't. I can show you how to do calves. I'm going to do this thing with me and Joe. And I can show you how to do your calves. You won't believe. It's painful, but you'll put fucking serious mass on your calves. I'm going to tell you that now. And it involves not just high reps, but constant movement. You know what I mean? I'd have to show you, but you just, as you get older, you overcome and adapt, that whole Marine Corps thing. You know what I mean? You have to train differently than you would have when you were 21. I still follow the same principles, but I train differently. You know what I mean? Like, sure. I believe in reps, but people think when you say lightweight, high reps, they think, oh, you got to lift light weights. That doesn't mean light weights at all. It means you got to get more reps with a working weight. If you saw some of these guys, I swear to God, I think they're all on, I think the juice is, because, I was natural for 23 years. Some of these guys, though, I've seen them just do cable curls, like this, and cable press downs, and do everything on a cable machine, and they're super jacked, To me, that's just, it's just pump muscle. But
where do you train, Kyle? What gym?
CF Fitness. It's I think it's called Central Florida Fitness, but they shorten it up just for CF Fitness.
Oh, okay, cool.
Where's that? What part of Florida is that?
Orlando. I think they have 3 or 4 of them. I think they used to be old Gold's gyms, and then came in and bought them and switched them out.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool.
Okay. Yeah, Gold's gyms used to be everywhere. Now they're like Sunday's news on Monday. You know what I mean? Like, what's that?
Yeah, they have. Yeah, they're all disappeared.
Yeah, because it's today. It's the whole. Now you got these gyms. They're like whores. They come in. Planet Fitness. $10. Pizza night on every Friday, and you're like, holy shit. And you go in there and there's people on a machine and. They're all doing, cardio, and you get in there at 5 a.m. and the breath smells like a salami factory. When you walk in there, you're like, holy shit. I get this guy every day. I tell him, bro, is that fresh onion bagels I smell, or did you sleep in that shirt last night? Because that shit, come on. You know what I mean? The whole gym smells like that. There's a girl too, Joe. She's hot. She's staying the whole gym. You're like, well, come on, bro. You don't smell that? They got that onion, that everything bagel. It's under their armpit and shit. You're like, holy shit. But
Cal, do you still follow baseball? Do you still watch it on TV?
Not as much anymore. I'm just not a fan of the rule changes. I think there's some that are okay, but I think a lot of them have ruined the pureness of the game. As far as like speeding it up. Baseball is played on outs, not time. I get it. Sometimes some pitchers and hitters, some of them take way too long. I get it. But don't make it so fast where it's almost fast pitch baseball. You throw the pitch, you got to get it. You got to throw it right away. Boom, 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 boom. Mm-hmm. That's the problem. I think why also the game kind of sucks, because now they have to do it so fast. They're being told in their ear what pitch to throw instead of thinking instinctively into baseball instincts. And now there's being robots being told what to do instead of seeing how that hitter just swung at this pitch. Okay, this and that. Okay, no, I want to throw this instead. But no, the computer says I got to throw this. And, but yeah.
They ruined baseball. They ruined it. Why do you take a sport that's been around 150 years and you make the bases bigger so guys can steal? You can't count all that shit as stolen bases. That has to be in a, now you took away the lefty, the lefty specialist. That's done, right? I mean, what a great job that was in baseball. Guy who comes in, bring him in sometimes one pitch, one guy, one out. That's it, gone, right? Yeah, now a relief pitcher has to throw 3 out, 3 batters rather. You got this. The thing that kills me is the whole man on second. And we don't. Pure baseball players. We don't watch baseball enthusiasts. We don't watch that shit for the speed of the game. You ruin a game by putting a guy on second in extra innings. I don't understand that shit.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Is there any one player, Kyle, you hated facing in baseball?
Hated facing. Miguel Cabrera wasn't fun. He kind of owned me. Albert Cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, those are brand names. Those are Hall of Fame guys. You know what I mean? Not for nothing.
Yeah,
Vince Berkman when he, Houston. Yeah, there's quite a few guys that got me, but hey,
it happens, man. But we had a
Kyle. What about Kyle? Did you hear the fucking bullshit rule they were tossing around? I don't think they're gonna do it, but that bullshit where they can have a guy get up a second time in an inning. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
Oh yeah, they were throwing it around.
They do a
what
golden
was that
rule,
Joe? They're saying that, like, for instance, like let's say Aaron Judge gets up in a ninth inning and he makes out, they can actually use him. What did they call that? There was a thing where he can actually get up a second time.
That inning.
Yeah, an inning. They would make you get up again.
Yeah, same second time in an inning. It was just something that they were tossing around. You didn't hear about that? They were tossing around a couple months ago. Then I think everybody was like, no way.
No, they're not going to do it though.
Yeah. It was the stupidest thing. They called it there was a name for it.
Yeah, there was a name for it. I remember.
They were like, they keep trying to speed up the fucking game. Leave it alone.
Just even think about even doing that, just stupid. Yeah, it is awful.
Yeah, I thought there was a name for it, Kyle. I forgot what it was. Where you can take a guy, and put him up a second time in an inning.
I'll have to.
It had to be in the ninth inning, though. It had to be in the ninth inning.
I don't know. Was it the ninth inning, or could it be in
the last at bat? You could bring someone.
It was like the stupidest thing. Leave baseball alone. My God,
exactly.
The rule changes already. It's bad enough,
Yeah, I was going to ask you, Kyle. The media in New York, was it really as bad as they say it is for you?
It was, especially if you weren't. When I was there, the core four. If you were one of their golden boys, you pretty much had to be perfect every night, or you were. It was part of it. I understood it, and it was definitely tough at times, but it's.
Yeah, the core four. Oh my God, man! I mean, some of those guys.
It's the golden at bat rule. They said.
Oh, the golden at bat rule. Yes, that's
golden at bat rule. That's what it was.
It's almost like you get a pass. Okay, we won once during a game. You get to get a guy. Doesn't matter who it is. Even if he just got up, you can have him get up a second time. When you're bored and you're off the show, Google that. The golden at bat rule in baseball. You'll shit your pants. It's like, what?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
I think that even if it's a guy who was already in a game and came out of the game, you could bring him back. It's the craziest thing. You would ruin a game with that shit.
Yeah.
The golden at bat rule. Thank you, George.
Well, Kyle, I know I don't want to waste too much more of your time. We were about 48 minutes already in. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to watch your bodybuilding career as it takes off, because we're going to support you. So hopefully you get more shows to help you out,
Appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me.
Kyle, if you need any advice, let me know. I could help you with that shit,
Yeah, we're here to help.
Any questions? I've been around so long, forget about it.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you so much, Kyle. We love you. I'll text you later, brother. All right. Thank you so much for coming on. And thanks to everyone else.
Thank you, Kyle.
Thank you so much, Kyle.
You rock, Kyle. God bless.
All right, Greg. I'll talk to you later, brother.
All right. I'll talk to you, Joey.
Thank you, man.